Hello there, all you bonny people. I'm Erin, working for Savanna's Crystal Reiki Healing, where we offer not just Reiki, but we also offer crystal healing, guided meditations, and readings, tarot, numerology to tarot, and pendulum. But we also offer guided shamanic meditations along with some shamanic healing as well. Today I'm over here to offer another numerology tarot for you in three different phases. Today I'm focusing on what the numbers of today have to say about what we could focus on today in a way that would help us as we go forth. Phase 2 is taking a person's name. Unlike last week, I'm not using my name. I'm going to be using the name of one of my family members. Derek, for instance. We're going to be reading him, breaking down the letters of his name into the corresponding integers, adding them up, breaking it down, and figuring out what his name can mean for him as a possible destiny. And then, in phase 3, we're going to be focusing on what does today mean for Derek? How can he focus on today? And how will it help him today? So join me as we go ahead and we break today Derek's name down and what this all means for him. But before we go ahead and we do all this, we've got the legals to talk about first. What you see and you hear today in this reading is for entertainment purposes only. Take everything that you see in here with a grain of salt. Do not take it too personally, and certainly do not take it too seriously. It is entertainment after all, and please treat it as such. Any names, circumstances, or people around you that happens to be mentioned in this reading is purely coincidence, not intentional. After all, again, this is a reading, and please treat it as such. Let's begin. Today's date in phase 1 is the 9th of September 2024. So, as is tradition, let's go ahead and let's break that down into its base integers. Let's add some addition signs into it, and then let us break it all down right here. So, after we do all the math that's necessary here, breaking all the numbers down as necessary, we get the number of 8. The 8th card in the major arcana of the tarot is strength. How are we showing our strength today as we go out there into the world and we act the way that we do? How are we doing this? Well, for those of you who are familiar with the strength card of the tarot, it's more talking about not necessarily muscle strength or anything like that. It's more talking about strength of character, strength of heart, strength of mind, strength and how we see ourselves in everything that we do. It is that strength of character, knowing that we can wrestle and tame our own inner beasties and wrestle with our own inner demons. Knowing that with the strength to wrestle and tame our beasties and the demons, we can still go out there and do what is necessary for us, for our families, for our loved ones, and anyone else that we happen to have in our circles around us. That is the kind of strength that we're talking about today. So, how are we being strong today? I certainly know that in my particular case, there are certain aspects of my journey that I'm not willing to acknowledge or really entertain. But as a measure of strength and what's coming up, I have to look at it. Just like acknowledging how this particular journey is eventually going to end. So there's paying attention to that. and then meeting it with a certain level of calm and grace and serenity. But this is not about me, this is about today. That's just how I'm viewing it. How are you viewing today? How are you going out there and meeting it with compassion for yourself? Grace, holding grace for yourself. How are you acknowledging that you're worthy enough for yourself, along with for everything that's on out there? How are you seeing this today? How are you going out there and showing your feats of inner strength today? I love me some coffee. Absolutely. So, in phase two, we're going to be taking the name of one of my family members, Derek, and we're going to be putting his name through the exact same process as we did for today. But the difference is today is just a bunch of numbers. This is a bunch of letters, but those letters have numerical value. So let's go ahead and let's throw up the numerical value of Derek's name. Let's put the addition signs in between each and every letter, and then let us break it down what that means. Do the arithmetic, the addition. Let's do the math. Let's break down the numbers as we do, and then add everything together. And this is what we have here. We have the number of 7, to which those of you who are familiar with the major arcana of the tarot, we have the Chariot. I want you to imagine a soldier, regardless of which era of humanity that we're thinking about here. Let's think about a soldier in their chariot, or their tank, or their jeep, or their war horse, their steed, their method of transportation that allows them to go forth on their mission, on their conquest, on whatever it is that's going on here. What we've got here is a soldier who is on a mission, who has a mission or something that needs to be done. Something that they need to prove to themselves, or do for their family, or do for the community that they have at large. So, what we would suggest for you, Derek, is don't worry about the details of what's going on here. Let your ego go for a tech and just go ahead and go forth and do what you need to do. You have a mission, you have a goal. If you're looking for a time to go ahead and get the job done, consider this, and that the word is given. It is go time. You've got this. You've been preparing, and it's certainly something that you could do, and it's within your purview. So, get it done. Now we're coming to phase 3. Phase 3 is bringing it all together. We have today, which is the 9th of September 2024, which has the number of strength, 8. And then we're taking the name of Derek here, and what your name is broken down, to which you are the embodiment of the chariot, going out there and getting what needs to be done, done. But the question then becomes, while we're focusing on how we're showing our inner strength today and the multitudes of manifestations that takes, is what does today honestly mean for you? For which we have 4. The Emperor. This wee lad. Let's put him right there. The Emperor. The Emperor, if we're talking about a leader, a ruler of his realm or kingdom, is a person who is willing to not just believe or see that they rule wisely, justly, in their realm and everything that they have around them, but they're willing to listen to sound and sage advice from their advisors because there's advisors pay attention to other areas that the emperor may not see as clearly. It's not their department. So what they do is they act upon the advice of the advisors around them. They then listen to everything else that is going on in the world around them and then put the advice of the advisors to this observation of what's going on in the world around them. And then, as they have all the information on hand, and as long as it's within the greater good for not just the people of the realm and the advisors who live in this realm, but for you and the direction of the realm itself, as long as it's for the greater good of all involved. Make your move. Lead wisely. Lead justly. And you've got a just kingdom. You've got a kingdom in harmony as long as you rule it within wisdom, using your head and your heart in equal measures. But don't be afraid to listen to those around you who are also offering sage advice. A ruler does what he can. They're not perfect. No one's perfect, but they do what they can based upon all the information that they have around them at all times. And this is who they are. And this is what today means for you, Derek, the chariot, a person who wants to go out there and accomplish their goal, their mission, their drive, their desire. This is what today means for you. Pay attention to what people have to say around you so that as you go through and you make this move, this first step, it's not only going to benefit you, it's going to benefit everybody because you're ruling and leading wisely. This is what today means for you. I certainly hope that you enjoyed today's reading. To be absolutely honest, I had a blast doing it, and just for reference, not everybody is perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect in the way that it's arithmetic that I'm doing here essentially. It's arithmetic, it's basic addition, and if you're too hasty and you're in a rush, you can make mistakes, make errors. Like in the way that these readings are done, the numbers, the addition have to be spot on so that the reading is clear. And every now and then, if I'm in a rush, the numbers are not clear and you misinterpret. And that one miscalculated number can make the difference between what today's reading was and something completely different. So, as we're going out, or as I'm going out there and doing this type of read, I'm having to run the numbers on my own several different times. This particular read I've done once before, but then noticed an error and then had to turn around and then do all the addition again 3 times over just to make sure that I had the numbers absolutely correct and everything added up. I'm not perfect. I'm never going to claim to be perfect, but I'm going to do the best that I can. This also goes true and the same in your life. It's a gut punch to the ego to hear that you're not perfect because heaven forbid that ego wants us to be the shiniest, the brightest example of perfection that we could ever possibly be. But here's the thing, we're human, we're not perfect. What we can do is aim to be better. Aim to make our days enjoyable. Let perfection tend to itself. We're not there. And this is alright, because if we're constantly striving for perfection, we are honestly going to miss perfection out in the world. Or if you'd like a better saying for that, be sure to stop and smell the roses every now and then. Or, in my particular case, drink the coffee. But if you enjoyed this reading, go ahead and click all the buttons here. Click like, click subscribe, click share. Let's share the good word, whatever that good word is. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it might be good, so go ahead and share the good word. Even if it's rum along my ding dong, or give peace a chance, share the good word. Also, as we're wrapping this up, let's go ahead and do the legalities again, just in case we'd forgot. This reading is for entertainment purposes only. Anything that you see or hear in this reading is done for entertainment purposes only. To be taken with a grain of salt, not to be taken too personally, and certainly not to be taken too seriously. Any similarities to people, circumstances, or places, or the people in your life at the time is strictly and purely coincidence, not intentional. This is entertainment after all. Please treat it as such. I would also like to direct your attention to this here QR code. If you like this type of reading and would like to see more, you can certainly support this channel and what I do by buying me a cuppa. I run off of coffee. I absolutely adore caffeine. Everything that I do is powered by caffeine. So if you like this, buy me a cuppa. And let's get more content going. Let's get more readings. Let's see how the days relate to you and how you relate to the days. So, with all that being said, I would like to thank you all for being here, and I will see you guys in the next video. You're loved, and I'll talk to you soon.